What's up guys, we're here at Mildenhall today for the 2018 Husqvarna test day. The bikes haven't changed so much this year. Obviously the aesthetic changes, the plastics and things like that, and a couple of minor fork changes. There's not too much to speak of, but we're going to check out the bikes anyway to see what they're like and see if they're as good as last year. We've got the 125, the 250 2-stroke, 250 4-stroke, 350 4-stroke, and obviously the big 450 as well. We've got myself, Ryan's over there somewhere as well. We're going to be riding all day, checking out the bikes. Sun's out, should be a good day's riding. We'll let you know how the bikes are at the end of the day. So we just finished up here at the 2018 Husqvarna test day. We've ridden all the bikes here, so 125, 250, 350, 450 and 252 stroke. What's your favourite bike of the day?
I would say it's the 250F.
250F?
I think it's so fast from standard. The Husky and the KTM definitely has a lot more power than all the other manufacturers, which is massive for a 250. You haven't got to do a lot to it to make it competitive. They haven't changed a lot, have they, from last year, so there's nothing really to talk about.
The only thing that changed is kind of like the looks. The plastics are all white this year. I kind of prefer the look a few years ago when we was in Budds Creek, when it was like blue and yellow.
More of the blue, yeah, I prefer that as well, but what looks don't matter, do they?
It's all about performance. The only other thing is like they changed some of the internals of the fork, I think, haven't they? Did you notice anything
Not
there?
at all, no. It's hard for me, because I jumped on, I can't remember riding that bike exactly, because I rode it a year ago now, but it handles pretty well. I remember it handling quite well back then.
It's got that typical Husky feel though, doesn't it? It's quite tall, it's a tall bike, especially compared to like
I've noticed that. You kind of sit on top of a bike on a Husqvarna and a KTM, you don't kind of sit in them, they're very level and neutral, and they sit very straight.
That, or would you prefer to be like part of it?
Sometimes I feel like on hardpack it's nice to be part of it. You get that little bit more feel on the front tyre, but in sand or certain tracks it's nice to be on top of the bike.
Let's just talk through each of the bikes then. Obviously none of them have had major changes, so let's just start with the 125. Basically, if it isn't broke, don't fix it right now, isn't it, for Husky? They made those massive changes a couple of years ago, and that kind of technology and that stuff they've got in those bikes is still good enough today, isn't it? And that 125 is pretty impressive, like, still, I think.
I said it last year with me on it, I weigh 85 kilos, so I'm quite heavy, but...
Do you weigh that now still?
I still weigh that now.
You've lost a little bit of weight.
I've lost a little bit of weight, but... Well, I'm probably 83 now, but it still pulls me out of the corners pretty well.
Yeah, it's got that... The bottom end is great, isn't it?
Bottom end is good.
It does, like, especially in some of the deeper corners.
I feel like you don't have to, when you rev it and rev it and rev it, it doesn't keep going. You need to change up at a certain point. You have to be precise with your gear change.
Exactly the same with the 252 stroke as well, isn't it? You have to work the gearbox.
That was really noticeable on that bike. If you held it in a gear, like say third, and you revved it out, it didn't go anywhere. It's got a really small power band on it. As soon as you change gear, you just feel yourself go.
Yeah, you have to work that. Which is, do you think that's a disadvantage or an advantage?
Some people like that and some people don't like it. It depends how you
feel like you really have to ride that bike to get the most out of it.
Yeah, you do.
Which if you're going for a two-stroke, you might want.
That's what everyone wants on a two-stroke, isn't it?
So we didn't get to ride the Husky 250 two-stroke last year, but that had a big update, didn't it? And it feels a lot smoother than the 16-15s. They had that big engine update last year, didn't it? So it does feel smooth.
It's definitely a good bike. And like on that, you can get on that and race that bike pretty well. You haven't really got to do a lot to it.
Yeah, if you're doing two-stroke championships, or even if you're doing like clubman open championships, great bike for that, isn't it? Yeah. Moving on to the 350 then. What are your thoughts on that? You still prefer a 450 over 350?
I still prefer the 450. I always think you got more power.
Isn't it?
Like I said,
you like the 450, I like the 350.
Yeah. I think if you've got the power, just use it. I can use the 450 power.
So that's alright for you, but I can't use the 450 power.
When I jumped onto the 350, I'd just ridden the 252 stroke, and the 252 stroke still doesn't compare. It doesn't come close to the 350 on power wise. The 350, you notice it straight away. You have an advantage.
Like some of the jumps here, they're not lipped up that great, are they? So
no.
On the 350 and 450, it's much easier.
Everything was so easy.
Yeah.
And then on the 250, you feel like you are attacking it. You have to work it really hard.
And the 450 then, obviously again, no major changes, but still that is like the 250 is in the MX2 category. That is a good bike out the crate, a fast bike out the crate, isn't it?
That is a super fast bike. I'm on Yamahas racing this year, and that bike there is faster than my race bike.
Yeah, a couple of years ago they said that 450 pumps out the most horsepower out of any 450.
And you can feel it the moment you get on it again. You feel it. I can compare it to my bike. It's definitely lighter than my 450.
Yeah, that's another just classic Husky characteristic. They're light and they're agile, aren't they? You can chuck them about pretty easily.
They're light, and it's quite a nice feeling around here when you're sitting in the berms. You kind of sit on top of the bike. You can feel the bike. Really, yeah.
Overall, then your favourite bike was the 250 two-stroke. Obviously, mine was the 125.
250F, my favourite bike.
Oh yeah, 254 stroke. Sorry. Obviously, 125 was my favourite bike. I feel I can actually ride that semi decently. semi decently. 2018 Husqvarna test. It's been a decent one, hasn't it?
It's been a really good day, yeah. I think Husqvarna have done a really good job here. They got the teams here from the UK, and we're riding with...
we've got Gear Tech, MVRD and Revo. So we've got Banks Brown, Pocock, Booker.
Booker's here. Harry Kulak is here watching, and so it's good.
Yeah, so a few good lads out there. And they bought all that subway for you as well.
Oh, I love that. Demolished it.
Yeah, so it's been a good day, and we'll catch you again on another test.